We'd never be able to pick just one. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Sex and the City episodes. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're counting down our absolute favorite episodes of this landmark HBO show. Number 10, Cock-A-Doodle-Do. While there are lots of great funny moments on this show that perfectly combined comedy and drama, sometimes it's the serious ones that are the most memorable.
Could we have lunch sometime? Well, I really need to talk to you.
In this Season 3 episode, Carrie is considering meeting up with Big again despite everything they just went through during their affair.
I lied. I don't have to work. I'm meeting Big for lunch, and I didn't think you'd approve.
Wait, you're meeting Big?
Miranda is vehemently opposed to this reunion and doesn't hide her feelings from Carrie, resulting in a blowout fight.
Perfect. That's just perfect. Walk away. It's all my fault.
There is some humor in this episode, though, because Sam's storyline is all about her dealing with the transsexual prostitutes who keep her up at night. Taken all together, it's a narratively important episode with lots of replay value.
Stop, you bitches! I called the cops! Fuck my car! Yeah, keep talking. I'll come down there and cut it off for you!
Number 9, Running with Scissors. Speaking of the affair, this episode is the one where it all falls apart for Carrie and Big.
Carrie? Oh my God, what are you doing in this neighborhood?
They've been sneaking around together for a while, but this is when Carrie is finally caught in Big's apartment by his wife, Natasha. As Carrie tries to flee, Natasha chases her down the stairs and seriously injures herself in the process.
Stop, I'm talking to you!
It's a painful but poignant moment when Carrie has to help Natasha get to the hospital, despite what's just occurred between them. Many people truly hated the whole affair storyline, so this episode gets bonus points for having not only brought it to an end, but a surprisingly satisfying one too.
I'll call you.
For what? We're so over.
Number 8, A Woman's Right to Shoes. In this Season 6 episode, Carrie is invited to a party at a friend's house where the host makes everyone remove their shoes before crossing the threshold. At the end of the night, however, Carrie's beloved Manolo Blahniks are missing.
Well, actually, they weren't sandals. They were Manolos.
Her friend doesn't seem too concerned, but eventually offers to replace them until balking at the price. What ensues is a story about single people versus married people, in which Carrie questions the respect and recognition that she's given as an unmarried woman without children.
No offense, Carrie, but I really don't think we should have to pay for your extravagant lifestyle. I mean, it was your choice to buy shoes that expensive.
In true Sex and the City fashion, it takes an isolated incident and uses it as the foundation to ask much bigger questions, to remarkable effect.
I wanted to let you know that I'm getting married. To myself. Oh, and I'm registered at Manolo Blahnik. So thanks. Bye.
Number 7, Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda. In Season 4, Charlotte has been struggling with her fertility. So when Miranda finds out that she has unintentionally become pregnant, she's understandably terrified to tell her friend.
Cannot think of a worse time to tell you this.
Oh, man.
What the F is going on? I'm pregnant.
And when she finally does, and announces that she plans to end the pregnancy, Charlotte cannot forgive her.
You can just sit here and have your abortion talk.
Come on, Charlotte, please sit down.
This episode touches on an issue that's not often covered in mainstream television: a woman deciding whether or not to have an abortion. In the end, Miranda's decision to keep her baby feels just as empowering, and her reconciliation with Charlotte is sure to warm your heart every time you rewatch it.
But, I'm just gonna walk a little way behind you in case you change your mind and want to talk.
No, I'm okay.
Number 6, 1. There is so much going on in this episode, we hardly know where to start. There's Charlotte's devastating miscarriage, and her subsequent surge of inspiration from Elizabeth Taylor.
Now is the time for guts and guile.
There's Carrie's first date with Alexander Petrovsky the Russian.
Of all my odd dates, this was number 1.
There's Miranda finally admitting her true feelings and telling Steve she's in love with him at Brady's first birthday party, despite the fact that both of their partners are in the other room.
I love you. I love you, Steve.
And, of course, unforgettably, there's Bozo the Bush. What more could you want out of a half hour of television?
1.
I'm Bozo the Bush!
Turns out, There is something scarier than a clown.
Number 5. The Agony and the Ecstasy. This episode is known as one of the saddest in the series run, but it's undoubtedly one of the most memorable. It's Carrie's 35th birthday, and she plans to have a celebratory dinner with her friends.
Bradshaw, party of 10?
You're the first to arrive.
When she arrives, though, she is the only one there. And even as time passes, none of her guests show up.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marta.
She ends up leaving, dejected, alone, and forced to reflect on not only the idea of getting older, but also aging without a man in her life.
I am 35 and alone.
You are not alone.
No, I know I have you guys, but...
In a heartwarming moment, however, the girls reunite and redefine the term soulmate.
Maybe we could be each other's soulmates.
Of course, having Big show up at the end to make Carrie feel special doesn't hurt either. Number 4. An American Girl in Paris, Part 2.
Carrie, you're the one.
Whether you wanted Carrie to end up with Mr. Big or not, the series finale of Sex and the City is one of the sweetest and easiest episodes to love. Carrie comes back from Paris, thank goodness, and is reunited with her girls. Everyone's storylines are nicely tied up, with Samantha being back in good health, Charlotte getting a first glimpse of her daughter,
That's really our baby.
and Miranda settling into Brooklyn. Debate in the comments if you like, but we'd argue that this ending is far superior to either of the alternatives the two movies left us with.
How's Napa?
The house is on the market. Look out, New York. I'm a-comin'.
Well, that's just fabulous.
Number 3. The Good Fight. There is nothing funnier or more relatable than the fight that takes place between Carrie and Aiden in this classic episode.
We could make some room for it if we cleaned out your closet.
They're arguing about space in Carrie's small apartment, but as often happens in real-life disagreements, the conversation branches out, pulling in other problems as it balloons.
Wait a minute. You use Rogaine? I didn't know you needed...
It's preventative.
But is your hair falling?
I don't want to talk about it!
We will never stop laughing about Aiden's multiple speed stick deodorants, or feeling bad for Carrie when Pete chews on her prized shoes. No matter how many times you've seen it, any fan is sure to get a kick out of this, one viewing after another.
That dog owes me $380.
Fine.
You can't buy it. It's circa 1996.
Number 2. I Heart NY. In a twist of fate, the writers of Sex and the City penned this episode before the September 11th attacks, though it only aired the following February.
There is a time of year in New York when, even before the first leaf falls, you can feel the seasons click.
The episode acts as a love letter to New York, with Carrie making an impassioned speech to Big, begging him to stay when he announces he's moving to California.
Well, if you're tired, you take a Napa. You don't move to Napa.
The episode has a melancholic tone to it, with Carrie and Big trying to savor their last moments in the city together when Miranda goes into labor.
Miranda?
Hi, I'm in labor.
It's a plot that's fraught with emotion, and an episode that, considering its timing, has become an understandable fan favorite.
Oh my God. Oh my God, there he is.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
And that's just what I did. Because when real people fall down in life, they get right back up and keep on walking. Uh-huh. Yep. Read it and weep, my friends.
I'm sorry I can't. Don't hate me.
The women's movement is supposed to be about choice. And if I choose to quit my job, that is my choice.
Number 1. X and the City. If there's one episode that encompasses everything Sex and the City is all about, it's this one. It puts a focus on female friendship while touching on the difficulty of romantic relationships, not to mention featuring some wild sex.
Samantha suddenly understood what made Mr. Cocky so cocky.
Carrie finds out that Big and Natasha are engaged and is devastated by the news. She has a revelation, though, when the girls realize that her situation is just like the plot of the film, The Way We Were.
One word. Hubble.
Hubble. Oh my God. Hubble. It is so Hubble.
This helps Carrie accept what's happening and give Big a memorable goodbye that only she understands. However, even though we know now it's not goodbye forever.
Your girl is lovely, Hubble.
I don't get it.
And you never did.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.